Man, that was a really spooky text from Adam, eh? Man, why would he want us here so late? Adam, are you here? Man, this place is a dump. Yeah, what's that smell? Sorry, I remember him having, a little more furniture. Oh, all right. His place is over there. Adam? Doesn't look like anyone's here. Where could he be? Dude, there's something seriously off with this. Oh my god. Look. What? Over there. Adam? What the hell, man?
What? I'm just playing with my pussy. Cat?
What did we just watch?
I have no idea.
Itchy.
God.
Tasty.
Someone actually was laughing at that, when that scene came on.
I don't
like
blame
itchy
them.
tasty. Isn't that a thing from the game, though?
It is.
Yeah.
It's in one of the original notes that you find as a guy slowly turning.
Right.
One of the pages
Oh,
just says
yeah.
itchy, tasty.
But it doesn't translate, on screen if you haven't played the games.
Who knew that the T virus just turns you into a poet?
Right? And so obviously, we just came back from watching Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City.
A mouthful.
And what did you guys think?
Well, going in, I was kind of expecting it to be kind of, run of the mill, nothing too crazy sort of movie. There was definitely some laughs. But other than that, I don't think it was a really decent film.
Were those laughs supposed to be? Were you supposed to be laughing at it? I don't know. It was very.
Sometimes it felt like it was. Some other times not so much.
It was a bad movie.
Let's just say that.
The thing
outright.
is, it's turned out to be the funniest film I've ever seen. Or at least the funniest
This
film
year.
I've seen this year.
We'll get into those a little bit in more detail of those specific scenes that kind of warranted some laughs. But to just start things off, we did a previous kind of reaction review of the trailer when it first initially came out. And I don't know if it was any alarm bells ringing in your head when the music choice was, what's going on? Hey, yeah. Then already at just that, we knew that the tone was a little bit iffy.
Was that just a weird song choice for the trailer?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out not really, because that song does actually show up, not to that extent.
Yeah.
But there's just an even funnier part.
It
of
just
that.
seems whoever behind the production of this, whoever is had these ideas, some of the editing choices, not necessarily the dialogue, but it's just the editing and the way certain things happen in the plot line.
Yeah.
Just completely clash. It almost seems like there's someone who's no, we have to have this music and stuff like that. And someone who came in and was we should have these sort of shots. It seems like there's multiple people who are just throwing in ideas.
Yeah,
and shooting it, and then just put together a
And don't get me
monster.
wrong, there are some awesome shots and like spooky moments
the
in it that
turn around
that were just
cool.
really well done. And I think there's nothing we can't argue that the settings and the props and things like that were bang on. Like it was the RPD, they did an excellent job.
The Spencer Mansion.
Exactly.
You know what? I love that shot when it's like
in the helicopter.
Yeah, when they're coming.
Yes.
Like there might be spoilers in this review. Should we, or is it free?
I would just go on assuming that you guys have either watched the movie or you're not going to see the movie, but you just want to know a little more about it. So we're going to move forward with that kind of in mind.
So I love the beginning when that's straight from the first game when they're flying above the forest to the Spencer Mansion. But I was gonna say when it's collapsing at the end, I thought that was kind of cool.
That was
as
amazing.
well.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sets were fantastic in it, like I know the director is a huge fan, so.
And you can tell that, definitely, to a certain degree in some elements of it. Other ways, I think where it falls short is the character development and the writing. Some of the characters, I think to a certain degree there was cool elements and choices in terms of the actor portrayals of some of these characters. In other ways, not so much. I think
really
the Leon. Well, the thing is, like, right out of the gate, the Leon character or depiction of Leon Kennedy is like
not the
so
actor
off.
himself.
No, it's just so off the mark. The characterization.
He's just a fumbling idiot. Like, I don't know how to use a shotgun. Why am I a cop? And I know it's your first day, but it kind of just seemed like
a bit over.
Did the director not like this character when he played the games, and he just wanted him to be the laughing stock of it?
Well, like when you play the remake, because of course the original you don't really get that kind of character growth sense, but the remake does an excellent job in giving like. When you show up in the RPD as Leon, he is kind of like terrified, and you could have like there's little blurbs of dialogue where he has to reassure himself like you can do this, and then of course by the I don't want to spoil the game, but when things are really coming to a head by the end of the remake, you can see that he steps into kind of like this badass like. I'm gonna stand. But I can stand up for myself here.
Even when he was kind of uncomfortable and unsure with things, there was a certain stoicism that he always has in his kind of character.
Well, he always wanted to do right.
Yeah,
like he wanted to do like the good thing.
Yeah.
Well, in this one, he was just
so
like, I just want to get out.
I don't know why.
I just want to leave.
Everyone's just like, I hate this shit town. I hate and all this. It's like, sorry, my eyes.
It doesn't really make you root for him.
When you root for him in the games, it was just kind of sad to see that. And in terms of like character development, there wasn't really much because like, it's not really a movie for people that haven't played the games.
Yes.
Because if like it's just assumed that you played the games and you know who these people are.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind if you go to watch it, and if you've never played the games, you might be a little lost. But yeah.
And to be sure, go into this movie with the expectation that it's not going to get everything right or not portray certain elements of this franchise that you know in perhaps the way you expect. But I think there's a lot of fun to be had in this movie in terms of some of those comedic moments, as well as some of the creepier shots that they do manage in here. I would just keep your expectations at a pretty low bar for this one. Maybe this is a movie for when you pop it open, like put it on the TV in the afternoon, if you're looking to kill some time, have a laugh with some friends. I think this movie kind of achieves that certain angle, right?
I don't know if that's what they wanted to do.
I feel like it's one that you'd like.
But it was a good time.
You don't want to be paying attention to it the whole time. Like it's better if you're half watching it.
Because you know what, like it was actually it started slow.
Yeah.
Like it was not a lot happened in the first little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, the orphanage beginning was
could have been cut.
I think it was a little long.
Like, well, the thing is, I always found that to be like for the game when it's like you get the idea that there's experimentation happening with the kids in the orphanage. Like they could have done something really interesting with that in the movie. They could have expanded that to make a really horrific kind of backdrop for that. But it's just like it isn't really integrated all that well beyond kind of placing Chris and Claire within the context of that, which it wasn't the case in the original games. So it became a setting of just a gateway into the next area sort of thing.
Right.
And the site for the greatest WWE
Seriously.
matchup of the century.
You know, in the trailer when you saw the liquor and everything, I'm like, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
You saw the scene with the liquor in, okay?
Yeah,
If you watch the movie, it's like, hey, I'm in this movie.
Yeah, so
Gets
the liquor
taken out
basically does this thing. He kills a guy, and he's all menacing. You're like, shit, here it
Super
is.
cool
This is
shot
the
of the
liquor.
mouth opening. It's
Absolutely.
Like, this is great.
And it was actually, for a CGI creature, it looked pretty
That was
well
my
done.
favorite creature.
And you know what? That was our favorite part of the trailer, I would say.
Yeah.
Probably the favorite scene in the movie, until the fact that he gets killed off within 2 seconds
By
of
the way,
his screen time.
none other than Lisa Trevor.
Lisa
like,
Trevor, she's
Apparently she's a
iconic for the
badass.
first game as one of the main villains.
Yeah.
In this movie, she's more of a kind of sympathetic kind of villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just kind of weird to me. Just like
she's like attacking you in the first game.
Yeah,
Right?
Like,
relentlessly.
Yeah.
But like the behavior and the characterization of Lisa Trevor in this movie clashes against like, look at her. She's wearing literally like the
Faces
skins
and
of
stuff.
like
Yeah.
she's supposed to be an absolutely terrifying like
Monster,
you go on and
yeah.
get away from this
I
thing.
liked the look of her, but you could tell she was like in a suit.
In a costume,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
I don't know if it was like the case in the game where it was like it was supposed to be the skin of her mom or something like that. That
Yeah,
she was just
something
like
like
wearing like, but it's just like,
And-
it just
yeah.
didn't convey like something really terrifying.
No.
except for a few shots
Maybe a
maybe
few.
at the beginning.
Yeah, I agree, and it's funny though because I remember the director specifically saying like, I can't wait to explore Lisa Trevor's story, bring it to the big screen. I'm super excited. You know, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know about her. Bitch is in it for like 5 minutes.
It's like yeah. Like let's see her her story.
I know just as much as I do about Lisa Trevor
As you went in.
Yeah. Because like I just completed the first game a few weeks ago, and you know in the game you find out things about her by reading files and you know looking at that stuff, and nothing is like I thought it was gonna fully explore and flesh out her story a little bit, and she's
But
sympathetic now,
But here lies just one of the many issues in the sense that they took two, like, how many hour games, right? Like one, you can 50, 60 hour games or something like that.
Oh,
If
the
you
Resident
play-
Evil games are not long. They're like they're
60
I mean,
hours
combined,
into-
if you played one
like
and
if you
two
did
in
it
one
one
sitting.
playthrough, probably like 10 hours or something like
so
that.
like 20 hours is
So
fine.
I'm exaggerating a little, but you're taking games that have a lot of time to explore narratives through files, through cutscenes and all that, and they're cramming it into one movie. That's less than 2 hours.
It was
so,
an interesting choice to have the kind of the settings for both the first and second games together, which I don't think it was necessarily the wrong choice. I think it was actually kind of really smart to do it that way because you know both
I
are
like how
really
it kind of blended
are really
together.
linked. It's like saying like the second game and the third game since they're set basically in the same
And
time
that-
frame.
yeah.
That could have been like a movie, but having the choice of having the first one and the second one kind of together, like I thought it was a pretty good choice to kind of have like the mansion be kind of a place where like they go to second.
Yeah.
These are some like choices where like going in, I was kind of intrigued by the idea that okay, the director could do something new and different with the material, right? It doesn't have to strictly stick by the material.
and I think that's what you want, right? You
Uh-huh.
want some deviation and some differences to kind of sprucing it up and make it different from the original material, right?
But-
Because if you wanted the original, you'd play the
You
game.
play the game.
Yeah.
It just by the end though, just kind of felt hollow because they didn't really go to the full depths of what you can do in those areas, right?
Yeah.
They became just the places they went to do a thing
And
to
And
meet
that-
up again
Yeah.
and do another thing, and like it didn't feel like a very lived-in
Yeah,
environment.
and like the games, there's different paths you can take with different characters that follow similar story beats, but with their own exclusive cutscenes and stuff. And I was thinking about that in the movie, how there's one team going to the mansion, and then there's one team that's still in the city going
kinda
through the
like
police.
that then.
It's kind of like the game where you're going through two different
that's
paths.
a good way to think.
And
of
I
it.
think maybe that's what was being thought of, and I kind of enjoyed that aspects. All these characters, all in the same city, but in different spots dealing with different threats.
And then they kind of
it kind of comes together. I like those sorts of narratives, and I think that was really strong in this movie, but it's just some of the execution in terms of the actual characters themselves is what kind of made it fall flat.
There was a lot of stuff that they cut out of the storyline, because Resident Evil's kind of like lore and background history is notoriously overcomplicated.
Yeah.
A lot of different characters, interconnected, multiple layers of espionage, corporate espionage within Umbrella and outside.
Yeah.
In this one, they completely just dumped that in the trash and reduced it all to
too much.
Okay, there's a guy, William Bergen, he's working on some G-Virus stuff. That's literally it. He's just been for years. Umbrella's been doing experiments, and this guy is kind of like the lead scientist. That's it.
And speaking of him, just I don't know if it was played well. Some was super cheesy. Some parts, especially in the orphanage. There's a shot where Claire and Chris or something go back to bed.
Yeah,
right?
they're really small. They're kids.
And then he turns around, and then it cuts to him for 3 seconds as he says good night. And then the shot backs off again.
Yeah,
and he just walks away. It was just weird.
Well, I think it's just really
who are you talking to?
I think it's honestly just bad editing. That was just bad editing. It was a very janky choice to have, because you could tell it was just they filmed him standing there, and it was further back, and they must have they just filmed him doing that, and then they filmed the close up of him saying his line, and then just returned to that previous shot.
Yeah. And his character,
his
character overall was written in a weird way, in the sense that at some points you were sympathized with him as a dad. He had this good guy angle to him. All of a sudden, 180, a second later, he's mutating, and he's just a dick.
Yeah.
Right?
That was a cool shot, though, when his arm was changing.
Yeah, and to say what they did with the special effects, I like that. But it's just
the
his
thing is,
character.
the moment he gets the G-Virus, he just turns into a total asshole. It's oh, I didn't know that was a side effect.
I almost forgot about him in the movie, because he does not show up in a good portion of it. I'm like, wait, he's took his wife and daughter to where?
Well, that's the thing. He's taking his wife and daughter,
comes
driving,
across Claire.
sees Claire.
Yeah.
But that was actually a quarter of the way in the film, and then we don't see him again till the third act, right?
And all of a sudden he becomes the big baddie, right?
Yeah.
So it's just and also, I think the one character we need to speak on is Wesker. Wesker, I think, was the sore tack in your foot, in this entire movie.
Damn. Well, I don't think that's sore. That's stinging pain.
Your foot's gone
Yeah, I'm just full of exaggerations in this video, but his character was super exaggerated in the sense that A, nothing like the video game.
No.
B,
doesn't get his glasses.
C, it's just, again, his writing was so weird where you kind of liked him, then you didn't like him. Then he's shooting the mother and Wesker, and then telling the kid, "Don't worry, I'm not going to shoot you."
I'm not going to shoot you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to shoot you.
And that's again, we're laughing our heads off at that, because it's was that supposed to be sincere? Was that supposed to be funny?
And he's laughing. I'm I would not trust that guy.
Dude,
he shot my mom and
he's
dad.
literally not Wesker.
No.
He's Wesker in name only. It's an entirely different character.
Yeah.
He's just he's just one of the STARS members. He has no because Wesker in the games has all these ties to he has his own ulterior motives.
Yeah.
He's got the Umbrella connections, everything like that. He's a super spy badass villain sort of thing.
Yeah.
Even though he's just a caricature even in the game, but he's a villain. He's a bad guy. Here he's just literally, I got a pager and it's telling me to do stuff.
Literally, he was just
piano keys.
He was literally just.
I like how they put that puzzle from the game, and
which is funny, yeah. But the thing is, he was literally just one of the bros.
Yeah.
That was Wesker.
Wesker, bro. He's Wesker the bro.
Until he wasn't. Until he was an asshole.
In the mid-credits scene, there is one, and it's him, and I really love the shot they took from the games at the very, very beginning.
With the body bag.
With the body bag of the first game, and then the gunshot happens.
Yeah, iconic.
But then it just goes on too long, because he's just
making noises.
Because he's in his bag, and then he can't see, and then he's crawling along the wall
Because he was killed in the movie, and then it shows how he is brought back to life.
Yeah.
But I guess the process of coming back to life makes you like the biggest crybaby.
I know.
This guy went on for too long. Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't know if you realize.
I didn't
but
realize it all.
We were sitting there, and you
Try not to
audibly said,
laugh.
you were trying not to laugh, but then you audibly said, "Will you shut up?" And the person behind us in the theater just started laughing
because it was so
Seriously,
insane.
It was so ridiculous, like the acting.
Yeah.
Like you could have just done it a little bit, and like I understand, you
Yeah.
thought you were dead, and you wake up in a body bag, cool. And then he puts on his glasses, and he's like,
Ada Wong gets some glasses
Yeah.
first off. Ada Wong out of nowhere.
shows up for 2 minutes.
Her cameo, yeah.
yeah,
Sequel baiting.
Yeah.
Because we're going to get a sequel of this one, absolutely.
will we?
Would we see it? Probably.
Yeah, honestly,
Just to
I was
see
like,
where the train is gonna derail, but
Speaking of too, that train scene just like that.
happened like nothing, yeah.
With the final boss, I was like,
Yeah.
Leon could have killed everyone on that train.
Yeah. And Birkin, he mutates into the final form, which
And
is
he works,
this giant
he
creature.
looks,
Okay.
well, he looked terrible. They CGI looked terrible. Compared to, say, like, the liquor.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you had
Like the liquor is like, okay, this is like
And that's not
this
what
is
it
the
looks
one
like.
that we want all our money to go into to look great.
Has to look good.
And
Yeah.
then the last one is just like
and like red eyes.
Yeah,
like,
and I
just generic,
thought
like,
it was
little
funny
generic.
when they're shooting at him, they focused on like the bullets hitting the eyes, like you
weak
would in the
points.
game.
Yeah.
Right? But then, of course, Leon comes in with his big bazooka RPG from the RPD.
literally just fires it at Sherry,
Doesn't
Claire,
even
and
say,
Chris.
Like,
Duck, like they barely move.
He's just thinking, this could be cool.
and they're like, oh shit! Like Leon's
Yeah.
about to.
So he blows up the
Yeah.
big baddie. They all get up like, wow, that was cool. And
well,
then
for a second, Chris actually turned around and looked like he was going to give like what the f
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Leon, and Leon's just standing there like.
Drops
Yeah.
the bazooka, like.
anyways,
Even though throughout the entire film, you're
And
like,
then
you're not. You're
2
not
seconds
doing-
later, they walk out and
And it ends.
credits.
And
You know?
seriously, I went like this. I was like, that's it. Like,
Yeah. No, it's literally like
it was
the
so
ending
rushed
you
at the
get
end.
when you beat the first playthrough, the first run of Resident Evil. It literally just cuts off. And it's
Yeah.
done. And then I turned to you and I said, "Oh, you have to play the second run. You
Yeah.
have to play Claire B
Gotta
or
do
something
that.
like
You
that.
gotta rewatch the movie.
Yeah.
You have to
Hopefully
unlock the
things
full
will
ending
change.
by watching
Yeah.
it again.
But yeah,
Speaking.
yeah. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Speaking of characters too, like the chief of the RPD.
Yeah.
He was just an asshole to like Leon too.
Yeah.
Honestly, my favorite character in the movie because he
Really?
was so just done with everything
That's
and
true.
so overacted. Like
But it's not like the chief in the
Yeah.
game. The chief in
No.
the game is
I
like a
remember
psycho.
actually scary.
This
you know,
this
like,
guy was
threat.
literally just an asshole chief that was just
asshole
like,
joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like the hard ass chief that is an asshole.
He's
to
basically
everyone.
like, everyone shut the fuck up. We need to know what these alarms are. And then they're like, okay, what are these alarms? And he's like, I don't know.
I don't know. Packs his bag and runs off.
It's like, you were telling everyone to be quiet so you could like
Yeah.
discuss what these things are.
yeah.
I remember we
And then they
laughed.
asked
I was
him,
like,
and then he was just like, I don't know what it is.
so what is it? I don't know what it is.
And that, like the scene. These are the moments where the dialogue was just kind of going in circles. Like it didn't like the dialogue.
Just didn't really
It was just like
didn't really flow. Just,
Yeah.
patting back and forth like freaking ping pong. Just like it didn't
Exactly.
actually do anything.
But
Anything
overall,
Oh, I know one scene we gotta talk about.
what's that?
Yes, I know what it is.
Okay, so there's a shot where the truck driver is
Oh.
like he's infected with the T virus now. He's plummeting towards the RPD. Cool shot of it blowing up.
Yeah.
With the RP like super good set and whatever. And Leon's just kind of in the lobby there. I
He's
like the
listening
lobby.
to music.
Yeah, and it
Kind
has
of
a
asleep or
typewriter there.
something.
Super cool.
Yeah.
And then this, like, the truck driver was listening to this one song. I think I've looked it up. It's called Crush. So we're definitely
a
going to incorporate that into
pop
this
song or
song.
some kind, yeah.
It's like a pop song, but it's
Yeah.
quiet. The truck blows up, and then nothing
The
really.
anticipation, we're just
Yeah.
like, whoa.
And then the music all of a sudden like ramps up, and the guy on fire just like comes walking in.
I swear to God, the editing, the pacing, the music cue, it all just worked in the favor of making you
If we
laugh
can
your
find
ass
this
off.
scene,
Oh my
like
God.
we're gonna cut to it now. This is unedited.
Take it, yeah. And if we can't find it, that sucks because honestly, the scene was the funniest thing we've ever seen.
Like
It was that moment where
We knew.
you turned to me in the theater and then said, "I can't take this movie seriously."
Seriously, I could not after
Yeah.
that scene. I was kind of like into it at that point with the
And that's
dog
funny.
licking it, like
Yeah.
the blood on the ground.
I remember sitting there before it happened, thinking to myself, you know what? Maybe this is going to be like a really interesting new take on this. And, and all of a sudden that scene happens, and you can't help but think about that scene over and over again
Yeah,
in your
it's
head throughout the entire
rerun
movie.
in our
I honestly can't remember what happened after that because, like, yeah, like
You were
guys
so
said.
focused.
we were pissing ourselves. I was pissing
And
myself
that
laughing.
scene just kept playing in my head, and I just kept laughing to myself. And I don't know what happened really a little bit after that because
It was just like it was
I
so
couldn't take it
out of
seriously
left
anymore.
field.
Yeah.
It was like making a clean slate. The movie instantly.
It was the moment. It was like the last nail in the coffin to realize that okay, this director really doesn't. This
No,
is what
it's
they're
not
doing
working
for
out. Yeah.
this. So
it's like, oh, the trailer did warn us about this with the song choices.
that
and
there's a
everything
clash
like that.
happening
Yeah,
between tone and everything like that.
It worked to have a good laugh with friends, but
Yeah.
like in terms of Resident Evil, like the international trailer, I don't know if you guys saw that, but it
I
was
think I
actually
did,
like
yeah.
really focused in on the horror,
Yeah.
and nothing really scared me.
Someone over there was just like, yeah,
This is how you do it.
This is Resident Evil. This is what we do.
Yeah,
with this.
yeah.
So,
It's not. It's a terrible Resident Evil movie. It's not even worth, looking at it through the lens of like a diehard Resident Evil fan.
There's just minute things that you're
it's-
going to
it's
gravitate to that you're going to like, but too much of it is outweighed by this oversense.
The
this,
heart of Resident Evil is
Yeah.
not in this movie. What I really like about this movie is the fact that it was one to enjoy with friends and
Yeah.
have a laugh and to discuss it at length. But that's
Yeah.
that's
That's
really
There's some genuinely good parts,
Yeah.
but very quick.
Yeah.
Like with the
quick spark.
when Chris is in the dark and the muzzle flashes.
Yeah, I was
and
just
yeah,
gonna
that's
say,
kind of
yeah.
scary, but also it went on a little bit too long, where it kind of got
Yeah.
like annoying. I was like, oh, like
Yeah, still a cool
If you
scene,
have- yeah.
but
if you have
definitely.
seizures, don't watch this movie.
Yeah.
It's up
Yeah.
to you at this point. We leave the choice of watching this in your
That's
hands.
kind of just what we were thinking. Not really a review, more of a discussion of it, but like
Yeah,
of
yeah,
what we
definitely.
thought. And
But it was good to get
Exactly.
out there, watch another movie. There's tons coming out this month of December. We have Spider-Man,
Oh my
No Way
gosh.
Home. We have tons of stuff like
yeah,
that, and I'm
Nightmare
sure we'll
Alley.
talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nightmare Alley.
We were just
yeah.
watching the trailer with our dad.
Guillermo
it was
del
on
Toro.
television.
Yeah.
Oh.
It looks so good.
yeah, it does look good.
Looks
Yeah, so
very
there's
good.
a lot more content coming your way, a lot more
Matrix.
discussions.
Matrix.
So yeah, we'll see you soon, and hopefully you'll enjoy this movie for the laughs it provides.
Watch with drinks
You
Yeah.
got it.
And know you're gonna catch the T virus.
after
From
watching
this,
this.
Definitely.
You,
Yeah.
everyone's
If your arm
infected.
starts to like split in half, and
Just look at this guy.
it hasn't hit them yet. but
Yeah.
it hit me pretty quick.
Yeah. They didn't try to explain the immunity really to
Anyone at all.
anyone.
Anyways. We'll see you soon.